Good afternoon and welcome back to Cedar Rapids in our final first round match on court number 1 of the 2022 NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship Tournament. I'm Joel McCall. Welcome inside the Alliant Energy Powerhouse, as this matchup might be the most intriguing of them all for this broadcaster anyway. It's a 5-12 matchup between the high seed Richard Bland Statesman and the McHenry County Scots. These teams actually met earlier in the year on September 3rd in the Owens tournament a long time ago. Both teams barely probably remember what was going on then. Richard Bland won in a reverse sweep. McHenry County won the first two, 25-19, 25-15. The last three, 26-24, 25-23, and 15-13. Very close. If both teams play that strong today, we are in for a real treat. Richard Bland welcomed new head coach Stephanie Champagne from Terra State and went off for a 30-3 record, a perfect 12-0 in Region 10 East Division. And two of those losses were actually wins over number 2 seed Parkland and then Edison. However, a snafu on the roster sheet caused the team to forfeit those wins. The Statesmen were Southeast A district champs, sweeping everyone, including fellow qualifier Cape Fear. This group loaded with talent. Perhaps the best setter in D2, Kerrigan Durko. We're going to find out. She was an Offensive Player of the Week by the NJCAA back on October 11th. She was a Regional Player of the Year, a tournament MVP, and a first team everything. There you see the Richard Bland 30-3, McHenry County 28-12. I say all that with the Statesmen to highlight the Scots. They're a team who were dealt with some tough losses early on, but bounced back nicely. 28-12, you see the overall record for the Scots, but they went 16-3 in the final 19, and two of those losses were to Parkland and Grand Rapids, both in this tournament. And in fact, both of them already won their first round. Coach McCall, no relation to myself, doesn't have Courtney Knudsen from a year ago, and it was kind of her show, but instead might actually be more balanced this year. Sophomore setter Hannah Bowden has built a relationship with multiple freshman hitters, and sophomore Madison Perry has taken the leap. We may have saved the best for last in this first round with this particular matchup. The 5-12, also on the other side then, the 4-13. Iowa Central going up against Gulf Coast State. We are about an hour behind schedule due to the second five-setter that we've had this season. Or in this tournament, I should say. And that was Grand Rapids 3-2 over Illinois Central. Grand Rapids won the first two and then lost the next two, won the finish. They'll play Johnson County right here on court number 1. That will be our nightcap. Winner of this plays Iowa Central or Gulf Coast State in court 2. That's slated for 7:30. And away we go. Durko will serve. Richard Bland bringing it over right to left. Good serve and an ace for Durko to start things. She is 4th in aces in Division II, 5th in assists, 2nd in assists per set. She went 49 assists in a match twice this season, and in one match she had 8 aces. High numbers. I guess that's what I'm saying. And we're tied 1-1. As right away, get to the middle, and Hankala puts down the first point. Bowden back to serve. Got the bump up. Come across. That was to Heath. Slapped across, but not down. Set a big jump. Overpass, though. And blocked up front, and the Scots get the point. Boy, that long hair. A couple of the girls have some really long, women, pardon me, have long hair. That really throws things off. 2-1, McHenry County. Served up, hard serve. Set for Heath, can't get it down. Back set for the Scots, good dig. And far side, Heath, nope. Bowden couldn't put it home either. We're going to call her Ina for a moment. She's got a couple attacks already and a big block up front as well. And Haley Hopkins, and let's see how I do with this. See, Lalawina Simativa is the server. Awalua, jump serve, hard serve, comes back over. Probably call her Awalua most of the evening, as there's a tip by Hopkins and a kill. And back to serve is Awalua. 3-2. And look at that top spin serve. We haven't seen it yet in the tournament. And how difficult is that to take? Well, that's a game changer. If you can throw out that top spin serve, because many in your arsenal of players don't have that in their repertoire. And when you can pull it out, you get the spin on that. Now that's too far. Awalua too hard, up and out. But that can be a game changer for any young player. But again, it takes a lot of repetition to take care of it. Mashong was the server. And no talking by the Statesman, and a 4-4 tie for the ace. And Mashong back to serve once again. 5-12 matchup. Two teams that met earlier. Awalua. Pardon me, that was Kaiser. And then a block up front. And Hopkins showing off the skills in that front line. And Sydney Phillips will sub in for her. Phillips to serve. Richard Bland leading by a point early on in set number 1. And there's a rocket. That's by Poyer. Right back at 5-5. Feel out process a little bit here in set number 1. Both teams, like I said, a long time ago, played each other. Hankala up to serve. Kill attempt by Goggin, not down. She's 6th in efficiency in D2. Free ball by McHenry County. Set, big jump for Kaiser, and a kill. And Richard Bland back 6-5. Sarah Heath returns to the back line. Heath, 296 kills on the year. Works all the way around. First team all region and tournament. A 6th rotation player. We have some quotes from both coaches. Some great stuff from both coaches, in fact. Henry County going on the attack, but not down from Mashong. Block up front. Little tip, and it works. Yeah, Leilani Goggin. Richard Bland leading 7-5. Early going. Whoa, look at that. Huge hit in the middle for Madison Perry. Finally, we get to talk about her. 7th in kills, 5th in kills per set. One match this year, 24 kills. That was against Moraine Valley, actually, and an ace. And 7-7. This McHenry County team played a ton of qualifiers. They went 1-6 in qualifying or against qualifying opponents, and on the curl, Goggin. 8-7. Back to serve, Kaiser. Richard Bland leading by a point. Over on the other side, looks like Iowa Central out on an early lead, as they're playing Gulf Coast State. Winner of these two will play tonight over on court number 2. Actually, a little sad that I'm not seeing Iowa Central. Not for this particular match. I wish I got to see them later because I really wanted this match, honestly, as 8-8. But I would like to see Iowa Central if they end up winning, because I think they would match up well with either one of these two teams. And an ace by Perry. Not to take anything away from what we will have at court number 1, which is Johnson County and Grand Rapids. A short serve, going to be almost into the net. Goggin can't quite get over there, and an ace for McHenry County, 10-8. Scott's leading with Perry back at the service line. 5 aces in one match as well. She does a little bit of everything, and an overpass taken care of by Mashung. And right now it's McHenry County leading 11-8. Served up. Awalua across the way. Back set for Perry, and that's into the net. So Richard Bland getting a side out. Going back to serve will be Riley Harris, the libero. Fast defender, 965 career digs. Quick, vocal, controls our backcourt, is what Coach Champagne mentioned. And she also was the Defensive Player of the Week back on September 6th. Getting rewarded for her efforts in the back row. And look at this, another topspin serve. 2 of them. As Bowden tried to dump it off, and the back set up and out. Too hard for Kaiser. Those back sets so difficult. Everything's got to be perfect. And as I tried to translate it in the D3 tournament, those back sets, it's almost like you're asking somebody to serve it for you. Because you're so far back there, the ball needs to be hanging up there for so long. Get a little topspin serve out of McHenry County as well, but this one goes up and long for DeVera. Dana, she was the conference libero. She also was the Defensive Player of the Week. And in fact, it was the week right after Harris for 9-13, the all-region and all-tournament player as well. Mashong into the net, and 12-11, Richard Bland down by a point, and do have Durko going back to serve. Durko line drive serve. And right at the net, and what a play by Bowden. Bowden will go back to serve. She is committed to Indiana State D1 next season. How about that, too, for these JUCO players going off. And there's Awalua. And Awalua will go back to serve for Richard Bland. Down by a point still. Or we see that topspin serve. We are. Oh, and just off of Mashong for an ace. Tied back at 13s. 6 ties already early on in set 1. Aulu off the net. Played up. The attack a little bit off, but got it across. And just missing Kaiser for Richard Bland. Soft served. Durko underneath of it. Hopkins going at it. She free balls it over. And Perry with a quick attack. And they got a lift called, I believe, the 2 contact touch actually instead on Richard Bland. 15-13. Back and forth we go early on in set number 1. Kaiser got it up. And an overpass, but still not taken care of. Kaiser actually kind of missed that. Awalua with a good dig. Big an overpass. Kaiser couldn't quite put it down. Perry crosses over, and that's a point for McHenry County. Boy, Richard Bland seemed to be controlling that volley. And the Scots end up with the kill with Perry. And it's 16-13. And Richard Bland and Coach Champagne and company take the timeout. Moulton is proud to be the official volleyball of the NJCAA and has generously provided all balls for all NJCAA Volleyball National Championships. Moulton for the real game. And nothing beats the power and excitement of live events like Ticket Smarter. For all the best sports, concerts, and theater events, visit Ticketsmarter.com or on the app. Ticket Smarter is proud to be the official ticket resale marketplace of the NJCAA. Ticket Smarter, a smarter way to buy tickets. So Richard Bland and Coach Champagne, there's a great story there. She was the former coach at Terra State, left there. Actually, Coach Scott Newton stayed on, and he is still with the athletic program. And Coach Champagne, they got married to assistant coach Sean Dryden back in December. She accepted the job in February, and then they moved off from Ohio to Virginia in a snowstorm and had sand volleyball practice the very next day. So I talked to both of them yesterday and told them congratulations on doing stuff in threes. It's what my wife and I have been doing for years. In 2017, my wife moved from Detroit to Hampton, Iowa. A month later, we got a dog. A month later after that, we got married. Just last year, as we get back into the big swing and kill there for Heath. But to finish things out, and again, I don't like talking about myself, but I told this to Coach Champagne. So in 2021, in the winter/spring, my wife got a new job. We had our first baby. We bought a house, and then we moved. So just do everything in threes, and you'll get everything done at once. And then you'll have, time to recover. Then do threes again in a few years. So that's probably what they're expecting. I don't know. We'll see. But congratulations to them. As Perry over on the far side, angling it. What a dig up by Phillips. Battle at the net. Won by McHenry County, but Heath goes at it. Can't put it down. Perry again, far side through the block. Back set and pounded over to Durko, but Richard Bland hangs with. Set on the curl and missed it. Hoyer missed it. And a long volley that time goes to Richard Bland, and we're tied at 17s. Ooh, look at that spin on the ball on that serve. That was nasty looking. And I think that's what happened with Bowden. She tried to get underneath of it to make that set, and the spin off of the serve, then the bump. Line drive serve up and out. This time a little too hard for Phillips. She'll sub out though. Hopkins comes back in. And then the double sub as Harris returns. And back to serve is Hunkala. Short serve. Played up nicely by Kaiser. Far side Heath. Hunkala there, but an overpass. And Bowden touched the net. Yeah, Coach McCall's asking too, but it was her follow through that she was trying to keep from the net. She just touched it. Live stats are not currently correct. That shows 19-16, but it's actually 18-17, and we have the score correct on our end. As Heath hops up. Oh, and the miss attack through the middle there. As that was supposed to go to Alexis Schwartz, but that was a whiff. And Richard Bland has a 2-point lead, 19-17. Perry in the middle, just jumps and swings as hard as she can. Free ball up and over by Harris. Bowden does a great job keeping that away from the net on that set. Perry comes through with the kill, 19-18. Big leaping ability by Madison Perry, the sophomore. She actually was a transfer from D3 JUCO. And that's into the net. And 20-18. Jump serve by Kaiser. Bowden trying to go with the attack across. Awalua can't put it down. Back set for Kaiser. And Bowden with another tip, but this is two-touch on the push. And Richard Bland has a lead of 3, 21-18. And a timeout taken by Coach McCall. 21-18. You're watching the NJCAA Network presented by Zurich Insurance, the official provider of student-athlete insurance for the NJCAA. Zurich Insurance helps athletes get back on the court after an injury. Learn more at zurichna.com. And order your official 2022 NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship merchandise online at the NJCAA store. Visit shopnjcaa.com to view exclusive national championship merchandise. I knew I had seen Madison Perry before, and now that I realize what Coach McCall had said, that she's a D3 transfer, she actually transferred out of Rock Valley. Rock Valley was a D3 runner-up last year against Owens in the D3 championship and went off in D2, actually. Rock Valley moved up to D2, but Madison Perry moved out and into McHenry County. 21-18 currently. As here we go with serve coming. Should be Kaiser back there. Big brace on that left knee, as you can see. Richard Bland with the 2-point lead after the serving error. 21-19, Perry to serve. Short serve. Ooh. Awalua through everyone. Siwawa Wina Simativa with the kill. 22-19. First set over on the other side. Iowa Central a point away. Oh, and that top spin serve. And if you can see the ball and how much spin that has, but Harris has to control that. That pass for herself was actually too far, led her up to the line, and she had to readjust even on her jump. And the top spin serve coming right back. And a big swing by Hopkins. 23-20. And Durko serving. Actually, no. Coach McCall takes the timeout. And you can follow all the action of the 2022 NJCAA Volleyball Championships live on the NJCAA Network. Go to njcaa.org/network to view live and archive video of each game. The NJCAA Network is now available on mobile, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Android TV streaming platforms. The NJCAA Network, the home for NJCAA digital content. McHenry County, there you see them. 1-6 versus qualifying opponents. They won against Muskegon, lost against Johnson County, Richard Bland, Iowa Central, Moraine, Grand Rapids, and Parkland. But again, 16-3 coming into their final 3, or 16-3 in their final 19. and they were the Midwest A District champions. They swept Olive Harvey and Wabanzi. They beat Carl Sandberg 3-1. And when I asked Coach about the whole 16-3 final 19, he said once we got healthy and a little rest, we've started to play pretty good. We keep getting better at practice, and it's hard to play slower teams. We are a bit bigger and maybe more dynamic than last year, I think is what he was meaning by that. And an overpass and an ace by Durko. And Richard Bland is 1 point away from winning the first set. Iowa Central did win the first set over on the other side. Durko serving. DeVera just getting something up on it. Big swing. Hopkins at the net. Didn't quite put it down. And a miss hit over on the far side. And out. And Richard Bland wins the first set 25-20 as Iowa Central won over on their side 25-17. So a 1-0 lead for Richard Bland. They'll switch sides. We'll take a break. We'll come right back. And this opening round matchup will continue. You are watching the NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship on the NJCAA Network. Richard Bland takes the first set here as you see some of the great other players from other teams sitting there enjoying, watching. Get off your phone. It's the National Championship Tournament. Good Lord. Come on now. All right. McHenry County going a negative hitting percentage. Not something to laugh about, that's for sure. 8 kills, 10 attacks, or 10 errors, I should say, out of those 31 attacks. So Scott's got to find their offense. Richard Bland, 10 kills, only 3 attack errors. 219 was their hitting percentage. Had 3 aces, 4 errors on the serving line, 4 aces and 1 error for McHenry County. Both teams had, well, McHenry County had 1 block, 2 blocks there for Richard Bland. Madison Perry with 3. And Heath also had 3. That's the highs in that first set. Teams flip sides. And away we go. The short serve. And 4 hits for Richard Bland. Not much. Harris was the one that touched it first, but then Durko's supposed to get underneath of it second, but that pass was not where it needed to be. Bowden to serve once again. Another short serve. This time Harris was able to get underneath of it. And swinging, and this was tipped. Awaloa with the point and the kill. And Durko will go back to serve. Set. And too hard, up and out. That went to Poyer, but too hard. Sent it on its way. 7 ties in that first set. Cross court. Awalua had it first. Go to Heath instead. Overpass by McHenry County. Right back over to Richard Bland. Heath down and got the kill right in front of a sliding DeVera. And 3-1. Richard Bland, early lead. A little bit different than their first matchup. These two teams met way back at the Owens tournament. And Richard Bland won, but they lost the first 2 sets, had to come back and get the reverse sweep. This time they win the first set as Bowden. Oh, they out. Awfully close on the tip for Honkala. 4-1. I actually thought that was in. The official has a good eye on it, dead eye right down that line, and he waved that flag up, and 4-1. Richard Bland. Durko again, DeVera on the touch. Bowden setting, back set for Perry. Great pass by Harris. Awaloa was blocked up front, came back to her. Back set for Kaiser. But another solid dig. Cross court and missing, though, is Poyer. McHenry County has got to get their offense going if they want any chance of recovering. As I said, they're hitting a negative percentage, and they're still sitting there at the moment. Overpass, and Hopkins takes. And 6-1. Richard Bland. Hopkins is having quite the match thus far. They say she only has 2. I thought that was her 3rd already. And she's hitting over 600 thus far. And yet another shot out long. And Coach McCall is going to take not a timeout, but he's going to bring in a substitution. And Valley Leggett will report in. Going to come in and play for Poyer. Line drive. They went right back to Leggett. Why not? She just came in. And another miss hit. 8-1, Richard Bland. And Kerrigan Durko serving. This is one you're trying to get out of with the run because she is such a dynamic server. And McHenry County not talking after it's 3. And Coach McCall is going to have to call a timeout. He does. As 9-1, Richard Bland running away here in the early goings of set number 2. Stay up to date with the latest news and information regarding NJCAA volleyball by visiting the official website of the National Junior College Athletic Association. That's njcaa.org. And you can follow all the action of the 2022 NJCAA Volleyball Championships live on the NJCAA Network. Go to njcaa.org/network to view live and archive video of each game. The NJCAA Network is now available on mobile, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Android TV streaming platforms. The NJCAA Network, the home for NJCAA digital content. Coach McCall's group's going to have to regroup. 9-1, down 1-0 in sets as well. Richard Bland, you got Durko at the service line, right who you want to be, especially when you're trying to get that or disrupt McHenry County's offense. They've been doing it thus far. So Awalua 3, Hopkins 3, Goggin with 2. And Durko put the ball down and ran off to the official as they're having a conference. Heath leads with 4, and she leads the match with. And so Durko went over to talk to the official up above. Now you're seeing Coach Champagne, which her career speaks for itself as a player. She was a Hall of Famer at Owens. She was actually the first female inducted into the Owens Hall of Fame, All-Region Team MVP, D2 All-American in 2006 and 7. And she's also a Hall of Famer at Austin, PA. So Coach Champagne has probably forgotten more about volleyball than I've ever known about volleyball. And right now, that knowledge has been ingrained into the Richard Bland Statesmen, leading 10-1. And that is a much needed side out. As that goes to Leggett. And Mashong will go back to serve. 10-2. McHenry County really needing a run. And instead, it's Awalua that puts down a big swing and kill. Awalua back to serve. 11-2, and here comes that topspin serve. A rocket. And see this if you're not going to get the kill off, or if you don't get the ace, you're still getting that wicked spin, usually off of the pass. That time settled in, and McHenry County shut it down. Honkala back to serve. Played over on the far side. Kaiser, she'll get it back. Big swing. Perry just puts it over. Hopkins down, but a great dig by Mashong. Hopkins tips. Somebody hit the net, but I guess no call. As Bowden put it over. Hopkins! Hopkins showing her ups. Hopkins, a middle first-team region. She actually graduates this semester. Coach Champagne says she's a force at the net with a powerful swing. It's on display, Coach. 12-3. Jump serve off of Phillips. Perry also shining with her big jump. Perry, 527 kills, a 4.54 kills per set. She's hitting 276, but right now, and she actually has lots of offers to move on as well. Leggett will serve, but currently McHenry County has more errors than they do kills, and Richard Bland does not. They are playing flawlessly. They're 16 kills and only 3 attack errors. This offense is absolutely rolling right now for the Statesmen. And Heath will go back to serve. Back set for Leggett, up and out. No tip. And 14-4. I am honestly a little shocked at how this match is being played out. I thought for sure it was going to be tight, lots of ties, but Richard Bland went on a run early in this second set as Perry waits, puts it over, and on the sideline, right in front of Harris. And Perry will go back to serve. Iowa Central over on the other side. I know they won the first one. And an ace for Madison Perry. 14-6. I think right now. Has that one blocked. McHenry County hanging with it. Oh, pass up towards the net. Bowden did a good job working around it. Free ball up and over by McHenry County, and that one misses. Currently over on the other side, it's Grand Rapids leading 14-10 over Iowa Central. So higher seed over there after winning the first, getting the best of what Gulf Coast State has to offer. And here, Richard Bland rolling in this second, as McHenry County still cannot seem to get their offense in sync. As their 17th attack error and 12 kills. Back to serve Kaiser for Richard Bland. Perry had it go sideways off of her, and another hard hit for Mashong, but does not hit any of that orange court that you see. It's kind of a reddish orange, but like I said on the camera earlier today, that does look more orangish. And Grace Eric coming in for McHenry County. That's what Coach told me it was. I know the PA announcer said something different, but Perry up and out. And so this is ballooned up to 18-6 by Richard Bland. And it started with an early run and nearly another ace. Bowden saved it. Now she's caught in the net. She could not get out of the net, could Bowden. And Awalua, came through with a big kill and a timeout by Coach McCall. So I do want to highlight Silala Wina Simativa as she's an all-tournament team nominee. She primarily played beach, but if you can tell, I don't know if you will, but when Bowden went to save that, her feet got caught, and there's Awalua with the kill. But primary beach player through high school is what Coach Champagne says. She's scrappy defender, a lot of power, and she will play sand volleyball this spring as well for Richard Bland. So sand volleyball, that's not something we had in high school, not here in Iowa. I'm an Iowa graduate for high school, and we certainly did not have sand volleyball here, but that's pretty cool. That's what she got to do throughout her high school career. Awalua, she actually came over to me and said her name very slowly for me, and I know that Coach Champagne said it's okay if you just call her Ina, but Awalua, hopefully I'm doing it some justice for you today for Richard Bland fans that are listening. Some great numbers by Richard Bland. They're hitting .298 as a team, 17 kills, just 3 attack errors. They have 4 aces and 4 serving errors. They have 2 blocks. On the other side, McHenry County, 12 kills, 19 attack errors. The hitting percentage is in the negative. Just not going to win too many matches when you're hitting. And that was Grace Eric on the kill. And DeVera goes back to serve, the libero for McHenry County. Boy, do they need a run. That'll help with another ace. That is off by Kaiser. 7 aces, just 1 serving error for McHenry County. So they're winning the battle at the service line, but not at the net. 19-8. Second one into the net. You get one, you give one. And 5 points away are Richard Bland from taking a commanding 2-0 lead. And Harris back to serve. Comes off from the top spin. Big swing, hard swing by Eric, but not down. Awalua into the antenna. She was almost at the net. That's the barrier essentially for the two courts. And Bowden goes back to serve. Short serve. Awalua with the first touch. Look out, Hopkins. McHenry County has really not had an answer for the first team regional player out of War Hill High School in Williamsburg, Haley Hopkins. Durko to serve. 21-9. Free ball by McHenry County. High free ball, and in fact it held on there so long that Hopkins decides to swing at it out of bounds. It did loft in the air an awful long time. McHenry County on the serve, but it's short. Durko tracks Hopkins through the block. Saved up, and McHenry County gets it up and over. Bowden able to set. Perry blocked up front. DeVera. Bowden tips it over. Overpass, and Perry puts it down. So Madison Perry with another kill. 21-11. Back to serve is Eric again. Another soft serve. Just how I like my ice cream. Heath through the block and down. 22-11. So Heath and Richard Bland still hitting right around 275. Perry with 6 leads everybody in the match individually, but Awalua 5, Heath 5, Hopkins 5. And on the line, whoo, there's that top spin, and when it works, it is deadly. Right on the line. That was an awesome serve. 23-11. And then into the net. So again, you get one, then you give one back. Subbing back into the front line will be Shorts for the Scots. Ancala back to serve. Float serve. Durko underneath. Oh, looked like the set was coming to Hopkins, and instead it's Heath. 24-12. That's where the eyes can deceive you. And Durko, you got to give a lot of credit to the setter on that, because that really looked like it was coming to Hopkins. Everybody saw it coming, and all of a sudden Heath flies up on the near side, and it's set point. Perry stops it for now, but boy, oh boy, would the Scots need a lot from Leggett at the service line. 24-13, have to stave off a lot of set points. Comes up, serves. Harris underneath of it first. Heath, crossover. And Bowden was actually the attacker with that. And into the net. And a point with 4 hits on Richard Bland. Line drive serve. Played up far side. Perry gets a chance and through the block and down for McHenry County. So 3 straight set points fought off by the Scots of McHenry County. Awalua with the first touch. And Kaiser, 25-15. Big, powerful swing. And Richard Bland, 25-15, 25-20. And here's a look at Kaiser on that final point. My goodness, to the back line. And Richard Bland has a commanding 2-0 lead here in our final first round matchup here on court number 1. We'll come right back. You're watching the NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship on the NJCAA Network. The Richard Bland Statesmen lead the match 2-0 in our final opening round contest of the 2022 D2 National Championship Tournament over McHenry County. 25-20 and 25-15 are two scores. Over on the other side, Gulf Coast State evens things out 25-20 with Iowa Central. So court number 2 is guaranteed a fourth set. We are not right now. McHenry County has got to find their offense. They are hitting negative .053 for the match. They'll need an excellent third set, and that one for Bowdoin goes up and over and out. And they switch sides on me again. And Durko to serve for Richard Bland, leading 1-0. They led the entire way in set number 2. There wasn't a single tie. And this will be our first tie of the match since 16s back in set number 1. Bowdoin to serve. Jump serve, played by Harris. Hopkins, not down, far side, but blocked, out of bounds on the block. Kill for McHenry County. And getting a big smile out of that is Mashong. Mashong looked at her jersey like, wait a second, you got the wrong person there. And that one for Heath. The PA announcer forgot that they swapped spots too, and 3-1. Well, if McHenry County were able to snag this set and the fourth and force a fifth, it'd be the absolute reverse of what took place against these two teams way back in early September. Bowdoin with the ace, 4-1, McHenry County leading. Jump serve and a hard one and another ace, and a 5-1 start for McHenry County. Well, an interesting celebration by the bench of the Scots. 5-1, they kind of did a full circle, all of them. Hopkins, that is out as Perry slides away just in time to get her hands out. And 6-1. Coach Champagne off the bench, but no call. Bowdoin ball in hand and ready for her next jump serve. That one misses by inches of the back line. Back to serve again will be Silala Wina Simativa as Awa Lua ready to serve. And here comes that top spin serve. Gotta love seeing it. You just don't see it that often at the JUCO level. As this one goes up and out off McHenry County. And Awalua back to serve once again for Richard Bland. Last year, Sauk Valley had Willman that could really pound a ball for top spin serve. She was an All-American for Sauk Valley. And that time, McHenry County gets it over. 4 hits on Richard Bland. Here comes Eric to serve. Soft serve, played by Kaiser. Hopkins through the block, played nicely on the back line by McHenry County. Charging up was Poyer, but her feet got a little bit off. Awalua in the back line, and she gets the kill. And 7-4. Phillips serving. That goes up and over the head of Perry as she pulls her arms down. And back to serve is Dana De Vera. That's another top spin serve. Comes over. Big block up front. Poyer and Honkala combine for the block. And back to serve again is Tavera. Pass was really solid. Heath, that was excellent. That pass was perfect on the serve receive for Richard Bland. And if you give Durko a perfect pass like that, she is going to feed one of the hitters with a solid spot on the court to look at, because her assist numbers are ridiculous, as we went through earlier. 5th in assists in D2. And Perry on the tip gets the side out for McHenry County. As it's 10-5 at the moment. McHenry County leading. Line drive serve. Awalua on the pass. Kaiser attacks but blocked up front. Back set for Heath. And that out of bounds. Good eye there by Poyer. Get away from that. And she'll be the server. Played by Harris. Kaiser trying to go across. That one rolled off the net and out. And I think Coach Champagne's going to call a timeout. She does. Richard Bland taking a timeout. 12-5, set 3 Statesmen do lead 2-0, and we'll take a quick timeout as well. You're watching the NJCA Division II Volleyball Championship on the NJCA Network. Timeout over with for Richard Bland. They're down 12-5 to McHenry County in this set. As McHenry County, they have finally found their offense hitting a negative throughout the 2 sets. And Poyer comes through with the back set kill. And McHenry County is leading 13-5. And they're hitting .429. Their first 2 sets, a negative .065 and a negative .038. So their offense starting to get going here as Kaiser to serve for Richard Bland. And that's starting to propel some of that momentum for McHenry County. And an ace by Kaiser. Perry pulled back, thought it was going to be out. Instead, kind of curved on her and lands in. Kaiser will serve for Richard Bland, down 13-7. This time, though, it is out. And again, as I mentioned, the winner of this would move into the quarterfinals. That is supposed to take place at 7:30. We're behind schedule already, so we'll see how things go for the rest of the night. But the winner of this will play over on court number 2 against Iowa Central or Gulf Coast State. And right now, that match is tied 1-1. A miss hit by the Statesman, and Perry goes back to serve once again. McHenry County with an 8-point lead here in set 3. Off the tape, Kaiser overpass, and a big hit on the overpass. That by Mashong. I was trying to see if it was Mashong or Leggett, but Leggett is out, I believe. She wasn't in there at this point in time. And another one as Awalua into the net. And I saw her right after she hit that pointing up saying, I need it higher. 17-7. McHenry County coming out and hitting 500 in this set. And the Statesmen are hitting negative .429. It's a role reversal of what we saw in the first 2 completely. As Harris to serve. Richard Bland has 2 kills and 8 attacks. And Harris with her top spin serve dies in front of everyone and an ace. Serving right now, 7 aces for Richard Bland, 9 for McHenry County. That's an overpass. Awalua, and that's too hard up and out. 18-9. And back to serve is Hunkala. And she misses. That's a nice job by Awalua to get out of the way. Durko back to serve. Durko serving for Richard Bland. Off of Tavera. Back set for Perry. Into the net. That one had no shot. Little off on the jump. The hit was too low immediately. Saw it coming. Durko to serve once again. Richard Bland leading 2-0 in sets, but down in the third, 18-11. Overpass, Hopkins. Tipped it over. Mashong out. Got blocked, trying to get it back up and over, and out of bounds. They're playing a pivotal third over on another court, as that match tied 1-1. Our quarterfinals all but locked up. Got one more spot for one team on this court and one team on the other court, as Durko with an ace. And Richard Bland starting to crawl back into this thing with Kerrigan Durko. There she is. Offensive Player of the Week back on October 11th. 3,000 plus career assists. That is something to be said. Right there, her numbers. And that misses for McHenry County. And all of a sudden, it's just a 4-point lead for the Scots. And Leggett does come in now to play up front for Mashong. You know, for Coach Champagne with Durko, it's pretty much having a coach on the court. As Heath couldn't get that. And a tip works for Bowden. Hannah Bowden. These are two very good setters. Coach McCall said that Bowden, who we're seeing serve, changed him as a coach for the better. Uber competitive, but super lighthearted. Pretty weird, but I love it, he said. No doubt a Hall of Famer in McHenry County is what Coach McCall said. And Hopkins taking care of the battle at the net. And all of a sudden, though, 19-15, Richard Bland has cut big time into this deficit. And McHenry County, who was hitting over 400 earlier in the set, down to 133. And a huge topspin serve. DeVera gets something on it. Durko sets. Kaiser. And out, not tipped. So 20-15, McHenry County. And Eric will go back to serve. Grace, 36 assists in one match. She had 4 aces as well. 21 coming in. Soft serve into the net, though. A little bit too soft. 20-16. And then Sydney Phillips will report in to serve for Richard Bland. Down 4, 20-16. Third set, 25-20, 25-15. Richard Bland won the first two. Attack there by Poyer, but not down. Kaiser had to save it by the pole, I should say. An overpass, and Kaiser's going to tip it down. Came right to her, just saw it happen. And Coach McCall gets up, calls the timeout, as Phillips already had the ball in her hands, ready to serve. And Coach McCall only talking to Hannah Bowden at the moment. Now they're all in the huddle. Richard Bland huddled up immediately, as they took a big leap in kills this season. Richard Bland 4th in kills per set. They were 4th in hitting percentage. 294 was their hitting percentage on the average for the season. Today they're hitting 115, and McHenry County, for their hitting percentage, 248. They were 12th best, and they're hitting a negative .014. 30-3 were Richard Bland. Against qualifying teams, 6-0. But they did have to forfeit those matches against that one match against Parkland. Trying to go through everything here real quickly just to see. They swept Cape Fear throughout actually they beat Cape Fear 3 times. Beat this McHenry County team, swept Montgomery. And there's Heath with the kill. The huge leap in kills for Coach Champine's group. She contributed that to Kerrigan and Riley, keeping that offense strong because they are quick to get to that second ball. They're the vocal leaders of the group. Perry blocked off of her head. And now it's a 1-point match, 20-19. Phillips can tie it, and we haven't had a tie since 1-1 in this set. Before that, it was 16s way back in set number 1. And an ace! And we're tied at 20s. Richard Bland finding something here in the midway part. And on the line and in for Phillips and a second ace. And Richard Bland has the lead of 21-20. Momentum swinging to the Statesman after the early onslaught. And Richard Bland in this, nearly another ace. Just a free ball up and over by McHenry County. Durko sets for Heath through the block. Saved up though. Perry's going to get a chance over on the far side, and this time finds the floor and 21s. And back to serve is Dana DeVera, the libero for McHenry County. Comes across. Durko tracks and way into the net. That set and all kinds of everything for Richard Bland on that volley was wrong. Just could not quite get into their rhythm. And McHenry County leads 22-21. Durko sets. Just a push by Goggin. Perry, far side, blocked again. Saved up. Free ball. Where's it going to go? Overpass. And taken by Goggin. Credit the Scots for keeping it off the floor. I wasn't sure if that free ball is actually going to get over. And instead, Goggin puts it down. And a second timeout by McHenry County. Need 3 points to win the set and force a fourth. Richard Bland with one heck of a comeback here in this third set. And Richard Bland is still hitting in the negatives, though. They're at negative 231 for the set, yet they're crawled back and tied it up 22s for McHenry County. Now this year about replacing Courtney Knutson. If you missed her last year, she got hurt actually in the championship tournament a year ago and ended up kind of missing, I think, some of the consolation round. It was either 1 or 2 matches, I don't remember, but it was kind of the Courtney Knutson show here last year at Cedar Rapids. She was an excellent player for them, and he said, Coach McCall did, we miss her every day. We had a big recruiting class and got a nice transfer player. It's raised the bar of our program. He's talking about Perry there. We like putting our best scorer on the right side like the men's game and attack out of the back row. We get balance, he says. They had a big jump in Diggs as well this season. Currently down 0-2. And there, Poirier puts it down. And she will be the server for McHenry County. 23-22. Short serve. Awalua gets underneath of it. Gets the pass. DeVera saved. And a free ball up and out. Oncala did all she could with that, but 23s. Back to service, Kaiser. She in one match had hit 750. Goggin, by the way, 6 blocks just in that district final. Line drive serve and overpass. And Durko goes with the dump. DeVera up at the net, and Goggin wins the battle. And all of a sudden, Richard Bland, 24-23, has a chance to win in 3. What a turnaround midway through this third set. Jump serve by Kaiser. DeVera set up through the block. Durko will track. Awalawa not down. Overpass, though. Goggin can't put it home. Bowden gets underneath of it. Blocked up front on the attempt by Poirier. And a free ball. Perry got it over. Richard Bland up and out. 24s. Long volley. That one won by the Scots, and we're going to force 2 extra points here in set number 3, 24-24. Perry to serve for McHenry County. Have to have this set, otherwise they'll fall to the consolation round. Goggin blocked up front, 25-24. Big block by the Scots. Coach Champagne does have a timeout if she wants to use it. She doesn't. Perry to serve. Short serve, but into the net. And 25s. Harris will serve. Harris wiping off those shoes. She's actually on the carpet. Now you can tell there's a little bit of a rampway there too. And here comes Harris with that topspin serve. Played off by DeVera. Far side, up and out. Missing it. Mashong long, 26-25. And it's match point for Richard Bland. Topspin serve. Gets it over. Bowden, and she gets the point. 26s. Bowden on the dump off. The tricky setter. And back to serve will be a Hunkala. So 26s. And they do bring in Leggett for, she will play for Mashong. And another miss hit on the serve. 27-26, and Durko to serve. Not who you want to see at the service line if you're McHenry County. They even backed up. Got the 4 in the back. Durko line drives serve. Perry at the 10-foot line. Durko on the dig. Still not knocked down. Hopkins. And that is off the head. And a point. Wow. Off the head by Poyer. Unbelievable. Bowden to serve. 27s. Well, I know the soccer championships were going on. I thought those were over with, though. You can use it, though. Doesn't matter. Awalawa couldn't get it down. And there's Poirier. 28-27, McHenry County. And they have a set point. And a timeout by Coach Champagne and Richard Bland. 28-27 and a point off the head. We have seen almost everything, I think, on this court so far today. This is our 4th match. Kind of had to wipe my eyes. I know I'm getting a little tired. I couldn't believe that off the head and a point. Oh, please tell me this is the replay of that. Please tell me. Hopkins, there it is. Right off the noggin and a point for McHenry County. Great job by our producer and the camera work. Top-notch stuff, fellas. They don't get as much. They're like setters in volleyball. The camera people, the producer, they don't get any love, much like the setters never get any love. It's all the hitters. Oh, they do everything. I wouldn't be able to talk to you right now without them. Let's put it that way. I would have no idea what to do on all their equipment. It is a serve up by McHenry County. It is set point. An attack. That would have been in. Harris makes the play. Back row attack by Kaiser. Not down. Set up on the curve. And that is it. As Poirier puts down the point. It played off the net. Once it hits the extension over on the other side. Richard Bland thought because it did not actually touch the net. It hit the above extension, the metal part, but that is out of bounds. And so that is it. 29-27. That's what the discussion is. I know you're probably seeing and wondering why Richard Bland wasn't coming over, but that's the reason. You can see the netting in between the two courts, but up above there is metal, and that's what the ball actually hit for Richard Bland. So they were thinking because it hit that, that's still in play. That is not the case. And there you go. There it is. So that's what actually hit. The ball bounced off of that and came back, but because that's part of the separation of the two courts, that's out of bounds. 29-27. This match goes to a fourth as there's a great shot over the entire second court. And coming back to our court as we will take a break. So we're heading to the fourth, our final first round match. McHenry County and Richard Bland. Richard Bland still leading 2-1. You are watching the NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship on the NJCAA Network. McHenry County bounces back after losing the first two to force a fourth. Ooh, not good over there for Iowa Central. 29-27 was our final for that last set as McHenry County is the winner of that third. So we go to a fourth. McHenry County in that set ends up hitting 161. And Richard Bland finished with a negative 111. McHenry County 28 kills, but they have 26 attack errors. Richard Bland 29 kills, 18 attack errors. They're hitting 120 overall. Iowa Central did pull it out over on the far side for the third set. They lead 2-1 over Gulf Coast State, but their best hitter, and I was just told, has a very heavy wrap on her hitting thumb. That's never a good thing. As Hopkins, she doesn't have anything wrapping up on her fingers. She's controlling the front of that net when she's in. Durko serving for Richard Bland. Lead 1-0. Big swing and kill for Poirier. And back in is Irick to serve for the Scots. 1-1. Set 4. Went extras that last set. And 2-touch for Bowden. Our next match. So here's the quarterfinals that are locked in. And coming up next then here on this court will be Cowley taking on Scottsdale. Over on court number 2 will be Parkland and Kirkwood. And then at 7:30 here on court number 1, it's Johnson County versus Grand Rapids. And that is an ace. Awalawa with the ace serve, 3-1. That is her third ace. I haven't gone through it. She also has 7 kills. 3 aces, and a couple of digs, and a block. Put her name all over this match. Too long, though. 3-2. McHenry County down by a point. And Devera back to serve. So, for McHenry County. Short serve. Overpass. You can't overpass. And Poirier takes that one, 3-3. DeVera looks over at the coaching staff. McHenry County has to have set number 4 in order to force a 5th. We'll see what team can hit at a higher percentage as Perry, what a dive by Harris. But then they call the 2 contact touch on Durko. 4-3. McHenry County leading. It really does come down to hitting for these two teams because the percentages are just not that high, not where you want to be, especially at the national tournament. Kaiser swings hard, comes back over with Heath, and she takes a little bit off, and it dies at the 10-foot line. 4-4. I would say that both coaches would say that. If you hit .044 or 126, not likely to move too far in this tournament. One of these two teams, though, trying to get to the quarterfinal and play over on the other side. An overpass. Perry takes that one. 5-4, McHenry County. Both teams had chances in that last set to end the match, or end that set. There were set points, and there was actually match points, too, by Richard Bland. Serving it up, McHenry County. Heath, big swing, can't get the kill. Perry through the block, got the kill. And 6-4, the lead for McHenry County. 11th kill for Madison Perry. Poyer with 8. Bowden and Mashong with 4 for McHenry County. For Heath has 8 for Richard Bland. We have a short conversations taking place. No official timeout. Awalawa has 7, Hopkins with 7, Goggin 5, and Kaiser 3 for Richard Bland. That's kind of your individual kills at the moment. We'll update the assists, too, coming up as Heath pushes. Perry slaps through the block, got the kill, 7-4. Assists-wise, Bowden has 19, Durko 23. Good strong serve Bowden gets underneath that. Back set, up and out though. 7-5. Early going in set number 4. 7-5. 25-20, 25-15. Both by Richard Bland. 29-27. McHenry County in the third to force a fourth. And what a set that was between Bowden and Perry. That was a line. Perry was already jumping and pushed as she's jumping. She literally was in the air and that set was coming to her. And she was like at the top of her jump. That's being in sync with your hitter right there. And Kaiser has a little change up. And 8-5. Richard Bland down by 2. Kaiser with multiple dribbles. Prepared. DeVera touches first. Swing by Leggett, but not down. Perry, back set. Line drive. I think that missed everyone. Richard Bland, they had 3 different people almost touch it. Instead, everyone missed it, and it went out of bounds. Fortunate for the Statesman not to touch that. And Kaiser will serve just down a point. And Bowden tried to dump it off. Heath to the back. Bowden again, because that time there was no place for her to go. As that ball come all the way near the antenna, there's no way she was going to try and set somebody after that pass, and instead back to serve will be Honkala. As McHenry County gets the side out, they lead by 2. Harris on the bump, far side. Awalawa blocked. Harris was right behind her, though. Helped her out. And Heath. Oh, no, pardon me. That's Goggin. Goggin with an excellent eye movement as moving that ball from the middle and really her momentum shifting towards the umpire up above. Looked back just a little bit, saw that there was an opening to her right, shifted the body weight in air, puts it down. Harris, far side. Leggett through the block. Saved, though, by Heath. Back set for Kaiser. Leggett again, but this time, they say the tip. Richard Bland, coach, is asking where that tip was, but it was called. 10-8. McHenry County. Both teams hitting much better in this fourth set. They're both over 300 at the moment. Durko sets. Awalawa out on the block, so she gets the kill. And back to serve will be Durko. Durko, line drive serve. Cross away, Harris was there. Awalawa. Inadvertent whistle. Yep. The official did not mean to actually blow his whistle because that was dug up by the Scots. That should have been played on. Instead, the inadvertent whistle, we have to play a jump. And Leggett trying to get the kill. Harris up at the front. Back line just missing for Heath. And McHenry County at 11-9, they lead. Back to serve is Eric. Set. Awalawa with the kill. Silala Wila Simativa with the kill for Richard Bland. And she'll go back to serve. You know it's coming. The big top spin serve. Comes over. Oh, good pass, too. by McHenry County and got the kill off of it too. Nice play by Poirier. That was a good pass from the back too. Deborah back to serve. Short serve. Harris had to just touch it and get it over. Perry, back corner, but missed it. Long this time. And 12-11, McHenry County clinging to the 1-point lead. The set 4 has been awfully tight. Nobody really grabbing any real momentum. McHenry County has led since 4-4, but the lead hasn't grown much. Perry blocked up front. Deborah saved. And actually the overpass by Bowden works. She did not mean for that to go up and over the net, but it did. And Hopkins comes back in to play the front line. Actually, no, she doesn't. They'll do the double sub. It was Phillips, and then she's out. So Poirier back to serve. Far side. And looks like Richard Bland is out of rotation. That was the call, 14-11. Yeah, Coach Champagne's trying to clear everything up. This time they're good. Are the Statesmen, far side. Goggin can't get the kill. Perry goes on the attack, played back in the back line by Harris. Set for Heath. Dug up nicely, but an overpass by Eric. Another chance for Goggin, not down. Perry's going to go at attack. Still no kill to the floor. Back set. This will be the point for McHenry County. Poirier. 15-11. And Coach Champagne coming over and calling the timeout. 15-11. McHenry County leading in set number 4. Have to have it to force a 5th. Over on the other side, looks like Iowa Central leading. We'll see where this point goes, and I'll tell you who is up. I believe it's 13-5 over on that other side. Iowa Central leading. So they're in their 4th. We're in our 4th. We're trying to round out the quarterfinals tonight. Richard Bland trying to make it to that spot. Led 2-0 in sets. This is the second straight appearance for Richard Bland. They were once a D1 school, so their second straight appearance in the D2. And I know that being 6th rated for Richard Bland, Coach Champagne said that really they felt like they were kind of playing an uphill battle throughout much of the season due to that not even being ranked, or I think they were the preseason 19, I believe is what she had said. I have to look back at my notes of the preseason poll. But I know she said that really motivated the team to get back into it. Yeah, the preseason poll, they were number 19. They finished 6th in the NJCAA Division II. But she said that really motivated the team to play better. And it showed against these qualifying teams. But right now you got to finish. And McHenry County, who obviously played a ton of qualifying teams. And there you see Coach Dryden and Coach Champagne. And they call a jump after the timeout. So they thought out of rotation once again for Richard Bland. Everything gets clarified and looks like we're ready to play again. Got some Devera and Eric hanging out next to each other for a little bit for McHenry County. Bowden had gone over to talk to the official up above. Remember, the coaches cannot go across the court. They can't talk to the official up above. Only a player can do that. A coach can make the suggestion and call for that. And after all that talking and discussion, it's just Goggin pounding one to the floor for Richard Bland. And back to serve is Sarah Heath. In this set, this is much better hitting by both teams. Less errors. Clean things up. This is the highly competitive match, especially this set, that I thought we were going to see throughout. And a big swing and kill by Kaiser through the double block. 15-13. Richard Bland down by 2, have the serve yet. McHenry County's hitting .348. They have 11 kills and only 3 errors. Richard Bland, 8 kills, 1 error, hitting .333. Much better. Everybody's cleaned it up. They're playing their best volleyball right now as Perry puts down one. So Perry for Rock Valley, who's going back to serve. There's the transfer from D3. Rock Valley was actually a runner-up in D3 championship last year. They lost to Owens, who Owens then went on to win their 3rd last year, made it to the championship again this season in D3, lost to DuPage. That's a little background on Madison Perry. She was electric last year in the D3 tournament, too. She really played well. That back set, though, that's tough to work around Goggin's big block. Goggin up front. Undersized but big vert. Converted to a middle blocker. Fast and hits multiple spots is what Coach Champagne said. You could tell she's very quick off of her feet. Called her undersized at 5'8". And an ace serve. And Richard Bland, 16-15. Right now over on that other court, Iowa Central leading 19-8. So again, if Iowa Central wins that set, that match is over with, and the winner of this would play them coming up tonight. Long way to go over there, though, and a long way to go here. Overpass by Perry. Kaiser touches first. Durko right back to Kaiser through the block. Oh, I thought they were going to call a lift on Honkala. Actually, Honkala, she thought the same thing. Instead, working around. That big swing up front. Well, now, obviously, under the net by Mashong. Clearly, she was almost stepped on by one of the statesmen. So 16s tied back up. Richard Bland winning this set would mean they move on. McHenry County wins this set, we play a 5th. And the fans below me that are Cali fans will have to wait a little bit longer to see their Tigers. And an ace serve. Kaiser, 17-16. Coach McCall, I don't believe, has called a timeout yet. And Leggett's going to sub real quickly and play for Mashong. 17-16. Jump serve by Kaiser, played by Leggett, so they went right after her. NJCAA.org/network to view live and archive video of each game. The NJCAA network is now available on mobile, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Android TV streaming platforms. The NJCAA network, the home for National Junior College Athletic Association digital content. D3 tournament went to DuPage. D2 we'll find out Saturday night. D1 tournament obviously going on at the same time. Down there in Hutchinson, Kansas is where the D1 tournament takes place. And Harris will serve again, but after the timeout, serves it into the net, which is exactly what Coach McCall was hoping for. Get a side out. And Bowden will return to the service line for McHenry County. Down 20-18, down 2-1 in sets. Opening round of the 2022 D2 tournament. Got to win this one to advance on. Otherwise, you're in the consolation. And, if you lose today, you fall to that consolation. You can work your way back up, but the best place you can do is 9th. That's it. And you have to win 3 more matches to get 9th place, too. Durko serving. And an ace by the Statesman as Richard Bland, 22-18. Durko serving once again. Perry had to go sideways. She'll get a set out of it, out of the back row, but Harris was there for the easy one. Hopkins swings. That stayed alive, though. Did not touch the netting in between the two, the barrier. So Hopkins will get another shot at it. Flying backwards, Perry. Up at the front, Hopkins on the block. And Richard Bland now 2 points away. Iowa Central does come away with the victory over there. It was 25-15. Durko serving once again. 2 points away for Richard Bland. Set. Big swing in the middle. Charging up was Poirier. Heath took off something. Oh, and look out into the table. Dangerous dive by Bowden. She is okay, though. Oofta. 24-18. And Coach McCall had one more timeout. He will utilize that. And 24-18. 25-20, 25-15 were the first two for Richard Bland. 29-27. It was that close in the third, which actually McHenry County staved off a match point. I believe it was 2 of them, in fact, to end up winning that set. And in this third, this fourth set, I should say, this fourth set, Richard Bland has had 33 attacks, 12 kills, and only 1 error. They're hitting .333 and are 1 point away from reaching the semifinals. Lose today, and McHenry County would play at noon tomorrow, as would Richard Bland if they were to lose this match as well. Don't want to call it over with yet. We've seen some dramatic comebacks thus far in this tournament, as Moraine Valley had one of them, but Hopkins denies Poirier, and that is it, 25-18, and Richard Bland gets to meet up with Iowa Central tonight at 7:30 over on court number 2. And for McHenry County, they fall into the consolation bracket, and they'll face Gulf Coast State. And that will be at noon tomorrow on court number 1. Richard Bland, let's run through a couple of quick statistics. 25-20, 25-15, 27-29, 25-18, the win for Richard Bland. They finish off with 41 kills, 19 errors. They hit 176, 14 aces, 9 serving errors, and 7 big blocks up front for Richard Bland. McHenry County, 41 kills. They hit .056. I did hit a lot better, though, in that fourth set. 3 total blocks, 55 digs for McHenry County. Perry led scoring with 15 kills. And Bowden had 26 assists. Poirier also reached double figures at 11. And let's see, for Richard Bland, Awalua had 10. And 9 for Goggin, 9 for Heath, 7 for Hopkins, 5 for Kaiser. Very, very balanced scoring for Richard Bland. And we'll see if they can knock off Iowa Central. That should be a barn burner tonight at 7:30. But for now, we take the break. And our next matchup will be Cali versus Scottsdale as the quarterfinals roll on here at the 2022 NJCAA Division II Volleyball National Championship Tournament, all right here on the NJC